Welcome to Spider Stories. We bring you true stories every other day that are guaranteed to send chills down your spine. From stories of restless spirits to encounters with otherworldly beings, you will be captivated by these pulse-pounding narratives. So buckle up because these stories will keep you on the edge of your seat.
The Boy in the Box. Based on a true story. The most enduring mystery to ever perplex Philadelphia detectives came to light on the evening of February 23, 1957, when a LaSalle College student parked his car off Susquehanna Road and began to hike across a vacant lot in the drizzling rain. The unnamed young man was a peeping Tom and was en route to spy on the inmates of the nearby Good Shepherd Home, a Catholic residence for wayward girls. But what he found as he walked across the overgrown lot that night would destroy any interest that he had in looking in young girls' windows. It was a cardboard box, seemingly innocuous, until he looked inside and saw that a small corpse had been wedged into it. Terrified, he forgot about the undressed women that he had come to see. He turned and ran back to his car. Frightened and embarrassed, the man confessed his discovery to his priest the next day and was told to call the police. This would be the beginning of a heartbreaking story to which the end has yet to be written. The patrolman who arrived at the vacant lot on February 24th found a large cardboard carton lying on its side, open at one end. Inside the box was a small boy, his pale white body wrapped in a cheap, imitation Indian blanket. They searched the lot and 17 feet from the box, discovered a man's cap, made from royal blue corduroy with a leather strap and a buckle on the back. Coincidentally or otherwise, a beaten path through the weeds and the underbrush led directly from the cap to the cardboard coffin. An autopsy was performed on the boy by Dr. Joseph Spellman, Philadelphia's chief medical examiner. His report placed the boy between 4 and 6 years old. He had blue eyes and light blonde hair that had been badly cut, closely shorn in some areas of his head, shaved almost to the skull in others. He was 41 inches tall and weighed only a pathetic 30 pounds at the time of his death. Dr. Spellman cited the cause of death was a savage beating that left the boy's body and face covered in fresh bruises. Older marks included an L-shaped scar on his chin, a 1-inch surgical scar on the left side of his chest, a round, irregular scar on his left elbow, a well-healed scar at the groin, apparently from hernia surgery, and a scar on the left ankle that resembled a cut-down incision used to expose veins for a blood transfusion. The boy was circumcised but had no vaccination marks, suggesting that he had not been enrolled in public school. Spellman's report contained many other intriguing details. The victim's right palm and the soles of both feet were rough and wrinkled, which suggested that they had been submerged in water immediately before or after death. Spellman attributed the boy's death to head trauma, probably inflicted with a blunt instrument, but he could not rule out that damage had been done by pressure, which prompted some of the investigators to suggest that fatal damage had been inflicted by someone squeezing the boy's head when he was given his last, botched haircut. Detectives clothed the boy and photographed his battered face, in hopes that they might be able to learn his name, but those hopes slowly died with the passing years. Investigators initially focused on the box that had been used as the boy's coffin. It had originally held a baby bassinet from JCPenney and was one of a dozen received on November 27, 1956, and sold for $7.50 between December 3, 1956 and February 16, 1957 from a store in Upper Darby, Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, the store kept no record of individual sales. The FBI fingerprint technicians were unable to find usable prints on the carton. The examination of the blanket proved to be just as frustrating. It was made from cheap cotton flannel and had been recently washed and mended using poor-grade cotton thread. It had been cut into 2 separate, unequal pieces and then wrapped around the naked boy. Analysis at the Philadelphia Textile Institute determined that it had been manufactured either at Swannanoa, North Carolina, or Granby, Quebec. Identical blankets had been produced by the thousands, and the police were never able to figure out a likely place where it had been sold. A label inside of the blue cap led police to Robbins Eagle Hat and Cap Company in Philadelphia. Proprietor Hannah Robbins said that it was one of 12 that had been made from corduroy remnants at some point prior to May 1956. Robbins recalled the particular hat because it had been made without the leather strap, but the purchaser, a blond man in his late 20s, had returned a few months later to have a strap sewn on. Robbins told the detectives that her customer resembled photographs that she was shown, but she had no record of his name or address. Philadelphia police circulated more than 10,000 flyers with the child's photograph on them to police departments throughout eastern Pennsylvania and southern New Jersey, but with no results. The Philadelphia Gas Works mailed out 200,000 flyers to its customers with their monthly gas bills, while more were circulated by the Philadelphia Electric Company, grocery stores, insurance agents, and a pharmacists association. About 300,000 flyers in all were distributed, but to no avail. 5 months after the boy was found, the authorities buried him in Philadelphia's Potter's Field, near the Philadelphia State Hospital at Byberry, a mental institution. The beleaguered detectives who worked the case collected enough money to erect the grim graveyard's only headstone. Its inscription read, "Heavenly Father, bless this unknown boy." The case went cold, silent, and deathly. Like most unsolved murders, there have been a number of theories advanced toward a solution of the case. Most of the boy in the box theories were dismissed. And so the case remains unsolved. Despite the huge amount of publicity at the time and sporadic reinterest throughout the years, the boy's identity could not be found.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to stay tuned for more true stories.